interpreter on the line?
Your Honor, this is a Spanish interpreter. We're waiting for the arrival of the Arabic interpreter, and she's coming into the office right this very second. So she should be ready in a second.
Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Court, this is the county attorney. Your Honor, we had some trouble with email this morning. Did you receive my recs? Wunderbar. Thank you.
Because we're going to try to call Mr. Marini's case first. He's the one that has a Arabic.
And the interpreter is ready, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir.
صباح الخير. Good morning, Your Honor.
Could I get your full name, please?
ممكن اسمك بالكامل؟
نعم محمد مريني.
محمد مريني.
Good morning, sir. This is the time set for your initial appearance.
ده الجلسة اللي هي أول مرة بتظهر أمام قاضي. Yes, Your Honor.
I'm seeing you today for 2 new felony charges.
أنت موجود هنا لأن في تهمتين في نوع من جريمة. Yes.
They're for aggravated assault violation of a protection order.
اعتداء مشدد وإن أنت خرقت شروط أمر الحماية. Yes, Your Honor.
And for harassment.
ومشاكسة وقمت بمشاكسة. Yes, Your Honor.
نعم ممكن أستي جواب؟
Can I respond, Your Honor? Is there an opportunity for me to respond to this?
At the end, not yet, not yet.
مش الآن، ليس الآن، في آخر الكلام.
All right,
نعم أختي.
all right, these are alleged to be domestic violence offenses.
ده اعتداء عنف أسري. هذه كلها ادعاءات لاعتداء وعنف أسري. Yes, Your Honor.
You have the right to remain silent.
لك الحق ان انت تصمت ولا تقول شيء.
Anything you say can and will be used against you.
كل ما تقوله ممكن ان هو يستخدم ضدك.
You have the right to an attorney.
لك الحق ان يكون عندك محامي.
I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you.
ممكن يكون هناك محامي عام من قبل المحكمة هو اللي ممكن يمثلك.
And you have counsel seated next to you for purposes of today.
وهناك مستشار يجلس بجانبك اليوم ممكن تسأله أسئلة.
I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir.
ممكن نطلب سراحك بشروط معينة هقولها الآن.
I've reviewed the pretrial services report.
أنا طلعت على كل ما التقارير التي قدمك بالنسبة لك الآن.
The interim complaint.
وكل الشكاوي اللي ضدك.
There's also a risk assessment.
وكل المخاطر اللي ممكن تحيط بها.
Is the victim on the line, Ms. Rebecca? There's a lot of talking in the background. I don't know if that's the jail. If you guys could please keep that to a minimum or go to another room.
Yeah, I'm on the line.
الضحية موجودة حاليا على خط آخر.
Okay. Is Ms. Rebecca on the line?
ريبيكا موجودة.
You have to press *6 to unmute yourself, ma'am.
قد بتقول لها تعمل إيه علشان صوتها يظهر.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Rebecca.
Yeah, I'm here.
أنا هون ريبيكا موجودة.
What did you want me to know about release?
هل أنت عاوز تعرف على شروط الإفراج عنك؟
About what?
Did you want to be heard on conditions of release?
هل أنت عايزة
Yeah.
تعرفي شروط إطلاق سراحه؟ بقول أيوة.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor.
So I didn't think it would be beneficial for him to be released because he had already gotten in trouble for something else and he was already on pretrial. And he has violated the restraining order a couple of times. This is just the first time that he got physical with me since the restraining order was put in place. But I don't think it would be beneficial for him to be released.
Can I go ahead and
Like
interpret your
I'm
honor?
pretty scared, to be honest.
هي بتطلب ان انت لا يطلق سراحك لان انت خرقت امر الحمايه من قبل وقمت بالاعتداء عليها جسديا بشكل واضح ان انت ضربتها وبالتالي هي لا تجد ان هناك امر يجد ما هناك اي شيء ممكن يكون له استفاده من اطلاق سراحك. Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Rebecca, do you want any further contact with him?
هل انت عايزه
No,
اي
I don't
اتصال
want any more contact with him.
هي لا تريد اي نوع من الاتصال بها ابدا.
And at this time, you do not have a shared residence?
هل انتم
We
عايشين مع
don't
بعض؟
have a shared residence, but he's my neighbor, so he lives right next door to me.
هو جاري فهو يسكن بجواري.
Understood. Thank you, Ms. Rebecca.
شكرا لك.
Thank you.
All right. I've also reviewed the state's written recommendation. The bond recommendation is $5,000.
هي بتقول ان انت عليك $5000 وده هي لانه النيابه امر النيابه بذلك.
Mr. Poston, did you want to be heard?
هل انت عاوز تقول شيء؟
Mr. Poston? You're on mute.
استاذ بوست.
Yes, Your Honor. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
State would respectfully amend its recommendation from $5,000 to $15,000, given a second review of the facts and the statements from the victim.
هم عايزين يعيدوا النظر في المبلغ الذي تدفعه بناء على كل ما قالته الضحيه.
Anything else, Mr. Poston?
No,
شيء
Judge.
آخر؟ لا ليس هناك شيء آخر.
All right, thank you. Defense counsel?
في أي شيء
Yes,
آخر؟
Your Honor. I'm sorry.
هل في أي شيء آخر تحب تقوله يا دفاع؟ Yes, Your Honor.
I have first, before I start, I have a question of the interpreter.
في سؤال ليا. Yes, Your Honor.
And my question for the interpreter is whether you could relay a brief message to my client before I begin.
ممكن تقول المحامي طالب ان انا اقول رساله مختصره ليك قبل ما يبدا الكلام مع القاضيه.
شكرا.
Could you please tell my client that I understand his desire to talk about the allegations today?
انا اتفهم يقول المحامي انا اتفهم ان انت تحب تتكلم بالنيابه عن نفسك وتشرح الوضع وتشرح ما حدث اليوم ولكن
يسعدني ذلك.
sorry.
يسعدني ذلك أن أتكلم عن الموضوع بكل بكل وضوح وحتى أني أحلف وأقسم بالله إني أقول الحق.
So I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I suspect that my client may be talking about the allegations. I don't want him to do that here today.
يا أستاذ هو يطلب منك أن أنت لا تتكلم على أي اتهامات وجهت ليك. هو يطلب منك اليوم أن أنت تصمت وتستمع له فقط. هو ده اللي بيطلبه منك المحامي. Yes, I understood.
So, Your Honor, what the defense will say today is we ask that Your Honor consider releasing Mr. Marini to the custody of pretrial services or pretrial services enhanced.
أنا أطلب منك يا سيدتي أن تطلقي سراح موكلي للجهة التي تختص بما قبل المحاكمة. Yes.
Our reasons for that include that Mr. Marini has no felony history.
هو ليس له أي تاريخ إجرامي أو تاريخ اتهامات إجرامية من قبل.
In addition, although he does have a prior, I guess, alleged instance of domestic violence, it is not against the same person alleged here today.
في الماضي هو كان له تهمة باعتداء أسري، اعتداء على شخص ما، ولكن ليست بنفس الضحية التي تتكلم اليوم. هناك وقعة حدثت في الماضي. Yes.
If released, Mr. Marini would abide by any conditions of release designed to prevent further contact with the alleged victim.
لو أطلق سراحه اليوم هو يلتزم بعدم الاتصال أو عدم التواصل مع الضحية مرة أخرى. Yes.
In addition, it appears that, according to the information I have, that Mr. Marini is employed only part-time and therefore has a limited ability to pay a bond.
واحنا نطلب ان احنا ننقص الكفالة المطلوبة منه، المبلغ المطلوب منه علشان يطلق سراحه، وذلك لانه العمل الذي يقوم به هو عمل ليس دوام كامل، وبالتالي ليس له القدرة على دفع هذا المبلغ. Yes.
And therefore, a bond in the thousands of dollars, as the state requests, would be excessive under rules 7.2 and 7.3. Thank you, Rob.
وبالتالي المبلغ المطلوب منه اللي هو يصل ل $1000 هذا شيء في غير استطاعته، فاحنا نطلب تحت قانون من القوانين تنص على انه ممكن المبلغ ده يتم استقطاعه.
All right, thank you, counsel.
شكرا.
I do think a bond is appropriate in this matter.
انا شايفه انه ممكن يدفع كفاله في هذه القضيه. Yes.
Impose a bond of $2,000,
$2000 علشان اطلاق سراحك.
be cash or secured,
ممكن ان انت تدفعها نقدي او باي شكل اخر.
released to pretrial if the bond is posted,
وممكن ويبقى في بقى مثولك مع الجهة الخاصة بما قبل المحاكمة بعد ما تدفع الكفالة.
conditions include no drugs, no alcohol,
وعليك ان انت لما يطلقوا سراحك ما يكونش فيه اي تناول لاي كحوليات ولا اي مخدرات.
do not commit any further acts of domestic violence,
وعليك عدم القيام باي اعتداء اسري مرة اخرى.
no firearms,
وانك لا تمتلك اي نوع من الاسلحة.
monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial,
وأي نوع من التعامل يكون تعامل معتدل كما تنص عليه الجهة التي تكون على اتصال بها وهي جهة ما قبل المحاكمة.
no contact whatsoever with the alleged victim, Ms. Rebecca,
ولا يكون لك أي اتصال بأي شكل من الأشكال مع ريبيكا.
do not go through her house or her work or try to find her,
لا تذهب لبيتها، لا تذهب لمكان عملها، ولا تحاول حتى ان انت تجد يعني تعثر عليها، تحاول ان انت تشوف هي فين. Yes.
all terms of the currently active order of protection where Ms. Rebecca is the named protected person,
وكل ما هو تنص عليه أمر الحماية اللي هو يحتوي على اسم ريبيكا.
and if you do post the bond, sir, and you are still living next to her as neighbors,
وانت صحيح ان انت هتبقى دافع كفالة وانت مطلق سراحك ولكن هتبقوا جيران.
and if Ms. Rebecca is outside her residence, you are to go back inside your residence or to leave the neighborhood.
بما انكم جيران هي ممكن تكون خارج بيتها، في الحالة ديت اول ما تشوفها خارج بيتها لازم تدخل بيتك وتبتعد عنها تماما ولا يكون هناك اي تبادل حتى بالنظر.
You understand all that, Mr. Marini?
فهمت يا استاذ مريني؟
نعم أختي، لكن منذ يومين أتت والبوي فريند معها وضربوني، شنقت وأنا في غيبوبة يومين في المستشفى، وعندما رجعت إلى البيت وجدت الشرطة أخذتني إلى هنا. يعني لا أعرف هل الناس هذه تعمل أخطاء وتستغل الشرطة. أنا لا أفهم أي شيء. أنا يومين في غيبوبة وأتت الشرطة عندما دخلت البيت أخذتني جابتني هنا.
Your Honor, some time ago, I was at home. She had her boyfriend and they beat me up. I was in a coma for 2 days, after which I found myself being arrested by the police. I'm not sure what she has been actually planning against me.
All right, sir, that was not my question. I understand that you've gone through something else. You can talk to your attorney about that.
يا استاذ مارينا، هي شايفه ان الموضوع ده ليس لابد ان انت تتكلم مع المحامي عليه وليس معها الان، لكن لابد انك تذكره وتحدد كل تفاصيله مع المحامي الخاص بيك.
I want to
نعم
know.
أختي. نعم أختي.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so do you understand the conditions of your release?
هل انت فهمت الشروط اللي بناء عليها يطلق سراحك؟
نعم فهمت أختي إني مش لازم أكون قريب منها ولا أتحدث معها.
Yes, I understand, Your Honor, that I should not be close to her, get close to her, or be in contact with her, or any form of communication should be going on.
Thank you.
لكن لدي مع أولاد يجب الحفاظ على الأولاد يعني، وأي شيء يخصهم يتعلق بحماية الطفل.
Anything related to the children would also be protected.
All right, so your next court date is April 28th at 1:30 p.m.
اليوم القادم لنزولك في المحكمة شهر 4 يوم 28 1:30 Your Honor.
Yes.
الساعة 1:30 ظهر.
That is for a preliminary hearing.
ده لجلسة مبدئية.
That date may or may not go forward.
ممكن اليوم ده يتغير.
So please keep in contact with your attorney.
ولكن عليك الاتصال المباشر مع محاميك طول الوقت.
If you fail to appear for court, whether it's that date or a future date,
لو انت فشلت في حضورك للجلسات المعنية بك،
a warrant can issue for your arrest.
ممكن ان هو يتم القبض عليك ويتم احتجازك. Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand all that, Mr. Murney?
هل تفهم كل هذه الأشياء يا أستاذ ماريني؟
نعم مفهوم أختي.
Yes, Your Honor, I understand.
All right, thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
أشكرك، ممكن أنت تنصرف اليوم.
Good morning. Can I get your full name, please?
Alexis Herrera.
Thank you, Ms. Herrera. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing today on a failure to appear theft shoplifting from Tucson City Court. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. In this matter, I'm going to appoint the Tucson City Public Defender's Office to represent you, ma'am. It looks like you have an adult probation hold out of Superior Court as well. So regardless of what I do today, you'll be seen by a different judge on your probation case in Superior Court. On this case, looks like you had 3 missed court dates in City Court, so I'm going to impose a bond of $250, cash or secured. If you do post that and your adult probation hold is lifted, conditions will include no contact with the alleged victim of the shoplifting, don't go to the incident location. Your next court date for this one will be April 25 at 1:45 p.m. in Tucson City Court. That's next week. If you're still in custody, the jail will make sure you get seen. If you post the bond and your AP hold lifts, it's up to you to make sure you show up to court. If you fail to appear, warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand that, ma'am?
Yes,
All right, thank you, Ms. Herrera. You're excused for today.
thank you.
Morning, can I get your full name, please?
Tracy Boyko.
Middle name Ann?
Yes.
All right, thank you, Ms. Boyko. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on some new misdemeanor charges out of Oro Valley City Court. These are for criminal nuisance of the premises and assault. These are misdemeanors, our Valley City Court. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. Be setting some release conditions for you, ma'am. All right, if I release you today, do you have some stable housing that you can go to?
No,
You don't have a place you can stay right now?
no,
All right. Okay. Well, Ms. Boyko, I am going to release you today on your own promise to appear for your next court date. Outside the Pima County Jail, there's a transition housing center, Pima County Transition Housing Center. I recommend you stop by there. They can help with temporary housing. They can provide you a phone and things like that. So I am going to release you today. I would suggest you stop by there. Conditions of your release include no drugs, no alcohol, no contact with the alleged victim in the case. Do not return to the incident location. Your next court date is going to be May 14th at 10:30 a.m. at the Oro Valley City Court. If you can't make it, you have to call them to let them know. Otherwise, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, ma'am?
yes, I do.
Okay, thank you. You're excused for today.
Thank you.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please? Thank you, Mr. Thriftgill. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on a new felony charge for aggravated assault on a healthcare worker. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'll be appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. We'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir. Looks like you're already in custody on a different matter and have a bond in that other matter. I've reviewed the pretrial services report, the interim complaint. The state's written recommendation is 7,500. Mr. Poston, do you want to be heard further?
Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Knauer?
Thank you, Your Honor. We're asking that a nominal bond be imposed in this case. Normally, I would ask that a concurrent bond, roughly equivalent with this other bond, be imposed, but because it can't be concurrent and he can't post that bond, we would just ask that something minimal in the realm of around $100 be assigned in this case.
Thank you. I'll impose a bond of $500 in this case, cash or secured, released to pretrial if posted. No drugs, no alcohol, no firearms. Monitoring treatment is directed by pretrial. Do not initiate any contact with the alleged victim. Mr. Threadgill, your next court date is April 28th at 1:30 p.m. for a preliminary hearing. That date may or may not go, so please keep in contact with your attorney. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Understand all that, sir?
Yep.
All right, thank you, Mr. Threadgill. You're excused for today.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Joe.
Good morning. Can I get
I
your
just
full name?
wanted the court.
Oh.
I just wanted the court to be aware that Mr. Foster refused to come to court today.
Thank you. And it was not a medical reason?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. That will be continued till the next PM session. All right. Sir, can I get your full name, please?
King David Rugamba.
Sorry, what was the middle name?
David.
David? Okay, thank you. Mr. Rugamba, this is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on a new felony charge for possession of a weapon by a purported possessor. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Legal Defender's Office to represent you. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I've reviewed the interim complaint, the pretrial services report. The state's written recommendation is $10,000. Mr. Poston, did you want to be heard further?
No, Your Honor. State stands on this written recommendation.
All right, thank you. Mr. Knauer?
Thank you, Your Honor. We ask Your Honor to consider release to pretrial services in this matter. A few reasons for that. Number one, Mr. Rugamba does have housing and transportation. He is employed full-time. I think that's very significant, especially as to his future and the resources that he has in the community that are important to keep going. Regarding the alleged possession of a gun here, I unfortunately did not receive any interim complaints, so I can't speak to the allegations about that. However, in light of the lack of other charges, it does appear that there was not any alleged problematic use of the gun such that would show that he is a sufficient risk to the community to be held. So under all those circumstances, Your Honor, we're asking that he have a chance to be out of custody for this matter and be released to pretrial services.
Mr. Knauer, can you confirm with Mr. Rugamba that his prior was for an F6 undesignated?
I will, Your Honor, just one moment. Your Honor, my understanding is that with his prior matters, that initially they were undesignated offenses. However, when his, I know on the 2022, he was sent to prison, so that one was designated as a felony. On the 21, I don't have the information right now about whether that was left undesignated or not. I can look. I don't know that I have access to Agave, but I don't know that I can. Yes. But I can give you that case number. It would be CR 2021 or 661.
That was 4661.
That's correct.
It looks like for the CR 2021 matter, I'm looking at the disposition from November 17th, 23-minute entry. It was a jail and term, time served.
Judge, I'm seeing designated as a class 6 felony.
All right, thank you. Anything else, Mr. Knauer?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. It will impose a bond of $1,000 in this case, cash or secured, released to pretrial if posted. Conditions include no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring and treatment as directed by pretrial. Sir, your next court date is going to be a preliminary hearing on April 28th at 1:30 p.m. That date may or may not go forward, so please keep in contact with your attorney. If you fail to appear for court, whether it's that date or a future date, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, sir?
Yeah, appreciate that, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Your excuse for today, Mr. Bugamba. Morning, can I get your full name, please?
Christopher Sean Eck.
Thank you, Mr. Eck. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on some misdemeanor failures to appear. You have from South Tucson City Court a disorderly conduct. And you also have from Tucson City Court, disorderly conduct, 2 counts or 3 counts, and unlawful imprisonment. Those are alleged to be DV. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney in certain instances. If you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. So on your South Tucson City Court case, sir, I'm going to appoint you an attorney, Michael Vaughn. And for your Tucson City Court cases, I'm going to appoint the Tucson City Public Defenders because it looks like you've missed several court dates on both cases. I'm going to impose a bond on both cases. On the South Tucson one, it's going to be $250, cash or secured. Conditions include if you post it, no drugs, no alcohol, no contact with the alleged victim, don't return to the incident location. Next court date for South Tucson is actually tomorrow, April 17th at 10 a.m. If you're still in jail, you'll be seen by video and the attorney, Mr. Vaughn, should be there. For your Tucson City Court cases, again, it's going to be $250 cash or secured. Conditions include no contact with the alleged victims, or excuse me, conditions include do not commit any further acts of domestic violence. Next court date for that one will be with Judge Million on April 23rd at 1:30 p.m. Again, if you post your bonds, it's up to you to make sure you show up to court. If not, the jail will make sure you get seen. You understand all that, sir?
I'm sorry, could you repeat yourself, Your Honor?
You understand all those conditions, Mr. Eck?
I do. I didn't know there was 2 courts involved. That was my problem. I couldn't find the city court, Tucson City Court. I know you probably don't want to hear this, Your Honor, but I didn't know that there was 2 courts. I went to city court and I saw that those weren't warrants yet. This was like last year, and I didn't know where city court for South Tucson was, and there was separate charges altogether. And that's when it went to a warrant. I really apologize, and I missed the court date, but I haven't been in any trouble since then. And I really want to take care of this. I've got stuff going in my apartment that I'm going to lose everything if I don't go get the stuff moved. I live at the same address. I haven't moved. I'm also with the, should I say I'm with the same person? I've been with her all this time. All she needs to do is go in there and tell you that this is not happening. It's a misunderstanding. That's all. We was going to go in there. We tried to find it. That's all, Your Honor.
Okay, well, I do see that you had an initial appearance in April of last year, 2024. So you saw a judge then, and then you
Inside
saw
the-
here in May of last year, and then June again of last year. So they gave you a
Yeah.
couple chances to show up there in Tucson.
Yeah, I did show up. The court I came to in here, I saw the judge by phone. And it came in here like this with the video. I talked to what they call her, there was another name for it. It wasn't an attorney, Sarah, what do they call it? Can you help me here? He was a magistrate. I talked to a magistrate on the phone. Does that make sense? A magistrate on the phone, and she told me to go report to this place, and I didn't know where it was at. South, even though I live in South Tucson, I didn't realize that court building right there by the library was the court building. I thought that was like the city council building or something. I thought everything went through South.
Well,
went through Tucson.
You have South
Now I
Tucson
know.
court tomorrow, and there'll be an attorney tomorrow for you. All right, and you can explain to the judge what's going on. They may change the bond at that point, but right now my decision stands. All right.
Okay, thank you.
You. Morning. Can I get your full name, please?
Daniel Mendoza.
Thank you, Mr. Mendoza. This is time for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on some failures to appear, some misdemeanors. You have from Pima County Justice Court of shoplifting, and you also have some Tucson City Court cases, failures to appear for criminal trespass, theft, drug paraphernalia, criminal damage. And then you have new misdemeanor charges out of city court for false reporting to law enforcement and possession of drug paraphernalia. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. For your justice court case, sir, I'm going to appoint an attorney. Her name is Jill Gookin. And for Tucson City Court, I'll appoint the Tucson City Public Defender's Office to represent you. Because of the number of failures to appear, I am going to impose bonds on both cases. The justice court case, the warrant amount was $100, so I will honor that amount of $100 for the justice court shoplifting case. It's going to be cash or secured, sir. Conditions include if you do post it, no contact with the alleged victim or the business of the shoplifting. Don't go back there. Your next court date for that will actually be tomorrow, April 17th at 1 p.m. If you're still in jail, you'll be seen by video and the attorney will be there. If you post the bond, it's up to you to make sure you show up to court or warrant can issue, as you can see. For the Tucson City Court cases, sir, Because of the failures to appear and because you got arrested on new charges, I'm going to pose a bond of $250 for everything, cash or secured. If you do post that, no drugs, no alcohol, no contact with the alleged victims, don't return to incident location. Your next court date for Tucson City Court will be April 25. That's next week at 1:45 p.m. You also have new charges, so I have to arraign you on those. You're presumed innocent. I'm going to enter not guilty pleas on your behalf. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Trial can go without you. If you're convicted at a trial in your absence and not able to be sentenced within 90 days due to warrant status, you may lose your right to a direct appeal. So it's in your best interest to show up to court, sir, and get these taken care of. You understand all that, Mr. Mendoza?
Mhm.
All right. Thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
Sure.
Mr. Moore. All the way up.
Good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Morning, Anthony Moreno?
Sorry, middle name Juan?
Yes.
Thank you. So this is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on some failures to appear out of Pima County Justice Court. Looks like you have a DUI and also, I think these are, let's see. All right, so that was a failure to appear DUI, and then you have new charges, misdemeanors out of Pima County Justice Court for disorderly conduct, fighting, and criminal damage, both alleged to be domestic violence. All right, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. I'm going to appoint Peter Gutierrez to represent you. I believe he was already representing you on your DUI case, so he'll be your attorney on both your cases in justice court. It looks like the DUI is actually post adjudication. Okay. So I'm going to impose a bond of $500 in both matters, sir, cash or secured. If you post the one regarding the new charges, conditions will include no acts of domestic violence, no contact with the alleged victim, don't go to the incident location. Yes, this is Melina. She does not want to have any contact with you. Don't go to her residence or anything like that, or her job place. Next court date will be tomorrow, April 17th at 1 p.m. If you're still in custody, haven't posted the bond, the jail will make sure you get seen by video. The attorney will be there. And same thing with the DUI one. It's going to be 500 as well. Conditions include no drugs, no alcohol, do not drive with a valid driver's license. Same court date tomorrow at 1 p.m. As you can see, if you fail to show for court, warrants can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You're excused for today.
Sorry, Your Honor, quick question. Is the $500 bonds, are those concurrent or consecutive?
I don't think I can make them concurrent because they're not at the same stage, even though it's the same court.
Okay. Oh, sir, sorry.
That was.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Colin Ray Samples.
Thank you, Mr. Samples. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing today on some new city court charges out of Marana City Court. These are misdemeanors, domestic violence for criminal damage, disorderly conduct, assault, and threatening and intimidating. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. So if I release you today, sir, is there somewhere you can stay that is not with Kevin Leonard?
Yes.
Where would you go?
I have a home in Phoenix that I actually live at. I was just visiting.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to release you today on your own promise to appear for your next court date. Conditions include no contact whatsoever with Mr. Kevin Leonard. Don't go to his work or his residence. Also looks like you are on pretrial services out of a Pima County Superior Court case number, and you have an arraignment. This is something separate. You have an arraignment on a felony matter next Monday at 1 p.m.
Don't worry about it.
Right, so make sure you show up for that. The next court date for this new case, though, out of Marana City Court is going to be May 14th at 10 a.m. When you get released from jail today, you'll get the address and phone number and all that. If you can't make that date for whatever reason, you call them and you let them know. If you don't, a warrant can't issue if you don't show up. You understand all that,
Thank-
sir?
Thank you.
Great. You're excused for today. Thank you.
So bond.
Morning, ma'am. Can I get your full name, please?
Mary Helen Soban.
Thank you, Ms. Soban. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on some failures to appear at a Pima County Justice Court. There's 4 case numbers. There's a criminal trespass, a shoplifting with drug paraphernalia and trespass, and then a shoplifting. And you also have failures to appear at a Tucson City Court for disorderly conduct, criminal trespass, and a shoplifting. One of them is alleged to be domestic violence. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one, one may be appointed for you. I'll let you ask questions at the end, ma'am, if you have any. For your Pima County Justice Court cases, I'm going to appoint Jill Guggen to represent you. And for your Tucson City Court cases, I'm going to appoint the Tucson City Public Defender's Office. Because of the failures to appear, I'm going to impose a bond, ma'am. It's going to be $100 on your Justice Court cases. They're going to make it concurrent across all 4 case numbers. All right, so it's be $100 in all 4 case numbers in Justice Court, cash or secured. If you do post that, no drugs, no alcohol, no contact with the alleged victims of the shoplifting. Don't go back to those businesses. Your next court date will be tomorrow at 1 p.m. If you're still in custody, you'll be seen by video and Ms. Guggen will be there. For your city court matter, ma'am, the judge's original warrant bond amount was $2,499. I'm going to honor that request. The Tucson City Court won't be $2,499, cash or secured. Again, same conditions of no contact with the victims, don't go to incident location. Your next court date for Tucson City Court will be April 25 at 1:45 p.m. As you can see, ma'am, if you fail to show up for court, warrants can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, Ms. Soban?
Yes, can I say something?
You have a question?
Yes, I want to say that when I got out last time, I tried to, I called in, I was put on the homeless court program because I'm homeless. So when I called in, my phone was not working. Then I called the clerk of courts or whoever, and I told her that I was trying to call in at 8 a.m. for my court, and my phone was not working. I was calling from my tent, and it just wasn't going through. So I called the courts, and she said, well, try again. So then she just told me, I said, well, I just want you to know that I want it on record that I'm calling in, something wrong here. And she said she'll put it on record that I tried to call in. So I tried to call in for the court date, that first court date. I've been trying, and then so then I couldn't get a hold of anybody, and then everybody out of that area had to leave, and I just lost. I mean, it's really hard to be homeless out there, and and I'm by myself, and now I rescued a dog, and I gotta get home to him, and I just don't, I just don't know what to. I don't have no money. I have nothing. I'm just trying to make it out. Struggle. It's a huge struggle out there on the streets, and I don't know what else to do. But I did. I tried to.
I sympathize with your situation, ma'am, but you got to try more than just once, just that one day, because otherwise the case is ongoing, right?
I know. You know how many times my phone got stolen in 5 months? Like 4 times. It's even hard to get an Obama phone these days. Now I have a phone, and now I'm at home all the time. I'm risky. That's probably not home, but I'm with my dog, and now my friend has a dog, and he's been badly abused, and I've been trying to save him, and
All right, well,
my
you
animals are.
have an attorney tomorrow, ma'am, for your next court date. You tell them what's going on, okay? All right, thank you, Ms. Soban. Your excuse for today.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Barry Alvin 810.
All right, Mr. Aiton, this is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing today on a new charge, misdemeanor for assault, domestic violence out of Tucson City Court. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one, one may be appointed for you. Sir, if I release you today, is there somewhere you can go that is not with Miss Noblet?
No.
That's the only residence you have is with Miss Noblet?
Yes.
No friends or family in the area?
No, ma'am.
I am going to release you today, sir, on your own promise to appear for your next court date, but conditions will include that you find a separate residence than with Ms. Noblet. At this time, I'm going to order no contact with her. All right, outside the Pima County Jail, sir, there's something called the Pima County Transition Center. They can help with temporary housing, so I would suggest you stop by there when you get released this morning. They can also help with getting a phone.
Excuse me, Your Honor, I do have a phone, which I'm paying. I am paying the rent at that apartment that we have together. I don't know where that place is. I have a short-time memory loss. I don't remember what you said, where that place was or is that I'm supposed to, see if I could get in.
It's right outside the jail, the Tucson, it's the Pima County Transition Center. It's right outside the jail. So stop by there when you get out today.
Thank you.
All right. Conditions of your release include do not commit any further acts of domestic violence, no contact with Ms. Noblet at this time, don't go to her residence. You can go back with law enforcement escort to get your belongings. Your next court date will be May 13th at 1:30 p.m. That, if you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Trial can go without you. If you're convicted at a trial in your absence and not able to be sentenced within 90 days due to warrant status, you may lose your right to a direct appeal. You understand the consequences of failing to show to court, sir?
Yes, you write that down so I can remember. Oh, okay, you got
Just a sheet of paper when you get out from custody today.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. And it's also the time set for your arraignment. I will order not guilty pleas on your behalf.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
Thank you.
Morning, ma'am. Can I get your full name, please?
Alex Tibigay.
Thank you, Ms. Begay. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on some failures to appear misdemeanors out of Tucson City Court for theft, shoplifting, and criminal trespass. You also looks like you have new charges of shoplifting out of Tucson City Court as well. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'll appoint the Tucson City Public Defender's Office to represent you. I'll be setting some relief because of the number of failures to appear already in these matters. I am going to impose a bond. It's going to be $100, cash or secured. If you do post that, ma'am, no drugs, no alcohol, no contact with the alleged business victims. I believe there's a QT at Golf Links, a QT at Irvington. There's a Fry's on Valencia. So don't go back to those locations if you do post the bond. Your next court date will be April 25 at 1:45 p.m. at Tucson City Court. If you're still in custody, the jail will make sure you get seen by video. If not, it's up to you to make sure you show up. If not, a warrant can issue for your arrest. As you can see, trial can go without you. If you're convicted at a trial in your absence, not able to be sentenced within 90 days due to warrant status, you may lose your right to a direct appeal. Do you understand the consequences of failing to show to court, ma'am?
I remain silent. And yes, ma'am, I heard.
Sorry, do you
I heard.
understand? Do you understand?
Yes, I understand. I heard and understand you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Begay. All right, and it's also the time set for your arraignment. I will enter not guilty pleas on your behalf.
You're not guilty.
All right, thank you, Ms. Begay. You're excused for today.
Here.
What?
Good morning. All right, good morning, ma'am. Can I get your full name, please?
Of course, Kara Black Napier.
Thank you, Ms. Black. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing today on a new misdemeanor charge of disorderly conduct, domestic violence. This is out of Tucson City Court. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, ma'am. I believe Chandler Black Napier, the alleged victim, he was going to be on the line. Sir, are you there, Mr. Chandler? You might have to press *6 if you're there to be heard. So I know that Mr. Chandler wanted to call in. I don't know what he had to say, but does not look like he's on the conference line at this time. He was given the information. And pretrial services was not able to reach him. All right. Ms. Black Napier, your mother, Lisa, stated that you could stay with her on Oracle Road. Do you know where she lives?
Yes.
All right. So I am going to release you today on your own promise to appear for your next court date. Conditions include do not commit any further acts of domestic violence. At this time, since I don't know what Mr. Black Napier's wishes are, no contact with him at this time. That could change later if he appears in front of the judge and explains that he's okay with contact. But right now, no contact. Don't go back home. You can go back one time with police escort to get your belongings and things while you go stay with your mom. All right, your next court date, ma'am, will be May 13th at 1:30 p.m. at the Tucson City Court. When you get released from custody today, you'll get a sheet of paper with all that information, the address and such. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Trial can go without you. If you're convicted at a trial in your absence and not able to be sentenced within 90 days due to warrant status, you may lose your right to a direct appeal. Do you understand the consequences of failing to show to court, Ms. Black Napier?
I do.
Thank you. And it's also the time set for your arraignment, so I'll issue not guilty pleas on your behalf. All right, you're excused for today, ma'am. Thank you.
Quick question, Your Honor. Was an attorney appointed?
No.
No. Okay, thank you.
You. Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please? Mr. Sipai, this is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today out of Tucson City Court for failures to appear. It looks like there's multiple counts: disorderly conduct, theft, drug paraphernalia, interference with judicial proceedings, drug paraphernalia, 2 counts of criminal trespass. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. I'm going to appoint the Tucson City Public Defender's Office to represent you in this matter. So it looks like you have a number of failures to appear in these cases, and you have a number of different cases. The judge that originally issued the warrant in Tucson City Court had a $1,000 amount, so I'm going to honor that request. So I'm going to pose a bond of $1,000 cash. Conditions: if you post that bond, sir, or if you are released, include do not commit any further acts of domestic violence, no contact with alleged victims, not return to incident locations, no drugs, no alcohol. Your next court date, sir, is going to be April 25 at 1:45 p.m. at the Tucson City Court. If you fail to appear for court, as you can see, warrants can issue for your arrest. If you're still in custody, you'll make sure you get seen by video and the attorney will be there. You understand all that, Mr. Sipai?
Yeah.
All right, thank you, sir. You're excused for today. Alice. Morning, ma'am. Can I get your full name, please?
Yes, Tashina Ellis.
Thank you. Good morning, Ms. Ellis. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing today on some new misdemeanor charges out of Tucson City Court. They're for child abuse, domestic violence, contributing to delinquency of a minor, 3 counts, endangerment, life, health of a child, looks like 4 counts. Right, they're all alleged to be domestic violence. I believe your minor children are the listed victims. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to your own attorney or hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. So ma'am, today I am going to release you on your own promise to appear for your next court date. Conditions include no drugs, no alcohol, do not commit any further acts of domestic violence, no unsupervised contact with the minor children that are listed as victims. Looks like DCS is involved. So unless DCS authorizes something else different, if you have juvenile court proceedings, they can trump whatever I'm deciding today. But at this time, no unsupervised contact with the minor children and any conditions or terms that DCS imposes. Looks like you're
Your
all
Honor,
sorry.
Miss Ellis actually has a adult probation hold on her.
All right, thank you. I was going to get to that. As the jail said, ma'am, you looks like you have an adult probation hold. So I'm going to appoint you an attorney since you'll remain in custody on the other thing. It'll be the Tucson City Public Defender's Office. Okay. And all terms of adult probation, if you're released, you're supposed to contact them and all that too, if you're released on your probation matter. Okay, your next court date, ma'am, is going to be June 6th at 9 a.m. If that adult probation hold is lifted, your attorney can help accelerate your date. But because of that hold, that's why it's pushed back so far, June 6th at 9 a.m. All right. If you fail to appear for court, ma'am, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Trial can go without you. If you're convicted at a trial in your absence and not able to be sentenced within 90 days due to warrant status, you may lose your right to a direct appeal. You understand the consequences of failing to show to court, Ms. Ellis?
Yes, ma'am.
Great, thank you. And it's also the time set for your arraignment. I'll enter not guilty pleas on your behalf. All right, you're excused for today, ma'am. Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Joseph John Martinez.
Junior?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on a felony charge of possession of drug paraphernalia. And then you have a misdemeanor for criminal trespass. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'll be appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you in this matter. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I've reviewed the pretrial services report, the interim complaint, the state's written recommendation. Looks to be pretrial with potential steps eligibility. Mr. Poston, can you confirm whether the state will be going forward on the felony charges for the paraphernalia?
One moment, Your Honor. This is Mr. Martinez, just to be certain, correct?
Joseph Martinez, yes.
Yes, that's what I thought. Okay, one moment. Judge, what I am seeing for Mr. Martinez. Moment, I apologize. On Mr. Martinez. We have. Your Honor, state's going to go ahead and dismiss the paraphernalia without prejudice at this point, and therefore on trespass 2, state is going to modify its recommendation, and of course omit the steps recommendation and ask for a. One moment, just checking the defendant's past one more time. Bear with me. Well, Your Honor, considering that's the only felony matter, the state's going to be dismissing the paraphernalia without prejudice. And this now becomes a misto case of which the state won't have any direct input.
Okay, and in terms of logistics, if it's just the misdemeanor, it'll go back to Sahuarita Municipal Court, correct?
I would say that is correct, Your Honor. Forgive me, this is a curveball I haven't seen in a while. I'm sorry, Judge, can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, I was asking
Okay.
our clerks
Sorry.
logistically how this works. Okay, so dismissing the felony means we will also dismiss the misdemeanor on the interim complaint, and the police department, Sarita Police Department will get notice of that so they can decide if they want to refile the misdemeanors in Sarita Municipal Court.
Very good.
Okay, so Mr. Martinez, it's your lucky day. I'll be dismissing the case without prejudice. So Sarita Municipal Court may have new charges for you in the future, but at this time, you're going to be released from custody. No new future court date at this time. Okay?
All right,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, this is the interpreter. Are you able to hear me okay?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Davis.
Okay. Thanks.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Buenos días, señor. ¿Tiene su nombre completo, por favor?
Luis Domingo Ramos.
Luis Domingo Ramos.
Thank you, Mr. Domingo Ramos. This is the time set for your initial appearance.
Gracias, señor Domingo Ramos. Esta es la comparecencia para su comparecencia inicial.
I'm seeing today on a new felony charge for aggravated driving under the influence.
Lo estamos viendo esta mañana por casos nuevos de conductor ebrio bajo factores agravantes.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
Tiene usted el derecho de guardar silencio. Todo lo que diga podrá y será usado en contra suya.
You have the right to hire your own attorney.
Tiene derecho a contratar a su propio abogado.
I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you.
Voy a asignar a la oficina del abogado y oficio de su defensa.
I'll be setting some release conditions for you today.
Le voy a imponer ciertas condiciones de libertad provisional el día de hoy.
I've reviewed the pretrial services report.
Ya he tenido oportunidad de revisar el informe de revisión de la Agencia de Servicios Previos al Juicio
The interim complaint.
y la querella inicial.
The state's written recommendation is $7,500 in bond.
La Fiscalía presenta un informe escrito donde piden fianza de 7,500 en efectivo.
Mr. Poston, did you want to be heard further?
Le pregunta al fiscal si quiere comentar algo más. Espere.
Mr. Poston, you're on mute.
Your Honor, the state is asking for the bond of $7,500 due to the fact that this person has demonstrated that he is a risk to the community. This is his second DUI, and not only that, he was driving the wrong way at high speed. The state needs some assurance that the defendant is, the community is protected from this defendant's ongoing negligence and the risk that he presents.
Señora juez, pensamos que la fianza que se pide es la propia y la procedente porque esa persona presenta un riesgo a la comunidad en vista de que es su segunda acusación de conductor ebrio y de hecho iba conduciendo en el lado contrario a alta velocidad. Debemos conseguir que se le asegure a la comunidad de estar protegidos del riesgo que esa persona presenta y es un riesgo palpable y considerable en lo que presenta él. Go ahead, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Mr. Knauer?
Ahora el defensor, el señor Canauer, espere.
Thank you, Your Honor. The defense asks that my client be released to pretrial services enhanced.
Gracias, señora juez. Lo que pedimos es que se libere a nuestro cliente para que pase la supervisión de la Agencia de Servicios Previos al Juicio con los servicios agudizados.
My reasons for that are that he lacks a felony history.
Y la razón por cual lo pido es que no tiene antecedentes por casos penales ni graves.
His ability to pay for a bond is limited because of his only part-time employment.
Y la capacidad de él de pagar una fianza como se le pide, es la causa de tener empleo de tiempo limitado, parcialmente nada más.
And Pretrial Services has assessed him to be only a level 2 nonviolent offender. And therefore, there are a set of release conditions that would ensure his sobriety and lack of reoffense.
Y la indagación de la Agencia de Servicios previos al juicio lo establece en él a nivel número 2 de reincidencia y no posee un riesgo palpable de reincidir. Por eso es que se pide que se le conceda la libertad provisional, ya que ellos tienen condiciones de libertad de impuestos que asegurarán el seguro de la comunidad.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Gracias, señora juez.
Thank you.
Gracias a usted. Espere.
All right, sir. I am going to release you today to enhance pretrial services supervision.
Bueno, señor, lo que voy a hacer es permitir que le excarcelen para que pase usted al servicio de supervisión de la Agencia de Servicios Previos al Juicio con el nivel de supervisión incrementado.
Conditions of your release include do not drive without a valid driver's license.
Las condiciones de libertad provisional incluyen de no conducir sin tener licencia vigente válida para conducir.
No drugs, no alcohol,
Nada de licor, nada de droga ilícita,
no firearms or weapons,
nada de armas de fuego o armas,
monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial,
y de que se someta al monitoreo o tratamiento que se recomiende por la Agencia de Servicios Previos al Juicio.
and it looks like your city court unsupervised probation is supposed to terminate today.
Y parece ser que la supervisión que tenía usted de libertad condicional en la Corte Municipal estaba a punto de vencerse el día de hoy.
But I would check in with your probation officer on that just to make sure there are no other terms you have to comply with.
Pero le recomiendo que se presente usted con su supervisor del caso de libertad condicional para asegurarse que no hay más que hacer en cuanto a eso.
All right, so your next court date is going to be May 6th at 1:30 p.m.
Bueno, señor, la próxima audiencia en el caso suyo será el 26 de, I'm sorry, was that the 26th or the 6th of May, Your Honor?
May 6th.
El 6 de mayo, la próxima comparecencia a la 1:30 por la tarde.
That's for a preliminary hearing.
Y eso es para una audiencia preliminar.
That date may or may not go forward.
Ahora, esa audiencia ese día podrá o no llevarse a cabo.
So please keep in contact with your attorney.
Así es que haga favor de mantener buen contacto y comunicación con el abogado que se le designe.
If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest.
Si no se presenta a la audiencia que se le programa, podrá ordenarse su detención.
You understand all that, sir?
¿Entiende todo lo que le he dicho, señor?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Mr. Domingo Ramos. You're excused for today.
Gracias, señor Domingo Ramos. Puede retirarse por hoy.
Your Honor, just so that the court is aware, Mr. Duarte does have an ISO.
Yes, thank you.
El personal de la cárcel, para que lo sepa la juez, que existe una orden de vigente de detención de parte de inmigración en contra suya, señor. Espere.
All right, sir, can I get your full name, please?
El señor, deme su nombre completo, por favor.
Pedro Duarte Sandoval.
Pedro Duarte Sandoval.
Is it Duarte Sandoval or Sandoval Duarte?
Duarte Sandoval o Sandoval Duarte.
Duarte Sandoval.
Duarte Sandoval.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Sir, this is the time set for your initial appearance.
Señor, esta audiencia está pactada para su comparecencia inicial.
I'm seeing you today on a new felony charge for criminal damage.
Lo estoy viendo el día de hoy por asuntos nuevos de delitos graves por daños a propiedad ajena.
It looks like, as the jail said, you have a hold from the Bureau of Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
Y parece ser que el personal de la cárcel me informa que existe una orden vigente para su detención de parte del Departamento de Inmigración y Administración de Aduanas.
So regardless of what I do today, if that hold remains in place, you will remain in custody.
Así es que no obstante lo que diga yo en condiciones de libertad, si esta orden sigue vigente, seguirá detenido
until that hold lifts.
hasta que se quite la orden.
Right, you have the right to remain silent.
Bien, tiene usted el derecho de guardar silencio.
Anything you say can and will be used against you.
Cualquier cosa que diga podrá y será usada en contra suya.
You have the right to an attorney.
Tiene usted derecho a contratar su propio abogado,
I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you.
pero sí voy a designar a la oficina de abogados de oficio del condado Pima para que se encarguen de su defensa.
I'll be setting some release conditions for you today.
El día de hoy le pondré ciertas condiciones de libertad provisional.
I've reviewed the pretrial services report.
Ya tuve la oportunidad de revisar el informe de indicaciones de la Agencia de Servicios Previos al Juicio,
The interim complaint.
la querella inicial,
The state's written recommendation is 2,500 in bond.
y la Fiscalía en su recomendación escrita recomiendan a fianza de $2,500.
Mr. Poston, did you want to be heard further?
Señor
Your Honor,
Poston,
considering,
go ahead.
disculpe. Mande, disculpe.
Go ahead, please.
Your Honor, given the ice hold, we're looking at 2,500. He's not going anymore.
Señora juez, en vista de la orden de detención vigente en contra del señor acusado, pedimos que se imponga la fianza de 2,500 ya que no se irá a algún lugar.
2,500, Your Honor. Interpreter, I didn't hear it. You said two.
2,500, señora juez, no sé si escuchar al intérprete que lo dijera también.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you. Mr. Knauer?
Ahora, señor Knauer,
Your Honor, we ask for a nominal bond in this case.
señora juez, lo que pedimos nosotros es una fianza equitativa.
That will be sufficient to keep my client in custody to resolve this felony matter.
Esto lo mantendrá a mi cliente detenido con una cantidad suficiente baja para poder resolver el asunto pendiente.
It also reflects his level 1 nonviolent felony status determined by pretrial services.
Eso también refleja la determinación de la Agencia de Servicios Previos al Juicio de nivel 1 de ofensor no violento.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Gracias, señora juez.
Thank you.
Bien, gracias.
Mr. Duarte Sandoval, I'm going to impose a bond of $500, cash or secured.
Señor Duarte Sandoval, le voy a poner una fianza de $500, ya sea dinero en efectivo o garantizado por propiedad.
Released to pretrial if posted.
Si logra depositar la fianza, pasará a la supervisión de la Agencia de Servicios Previos al Juicio, Pretrial Services,
Conditions include do not drive without a valid driver's license.
y las condiciones que se le imponen incluyen la de no manejar sin licencia vigente para conducir,
No drugs, no alcohol.
no tener en posesión ni licor ni droga ilícita,
No firearms.
nada de armas de fuego,
Monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial.
sometiéndose usted al tratamiento o monitoreo que le exija la Agencia de Servicios Previos al Juicio.
So, sir, if you post the bond right now because of the ICE hold, you're probably going to lose that bond and be taken into ICE custody.
Ahora, señor, para que lo sepa, si usted depositara este dinero en este momento, lo que sería es que pasaría usted a manos de inmigración y perdería la fianza.
But once the ICE hold lifts, or if it is no longer, if you post the bond, then you would be released.
Pero ya que se quite esa orden, aunque no esté vigente esa orden de detención de inmigración, si deposita la fianza, sí podrá salir.
Does that make sense, sir?
¿Tiene sentido lo que le digo, señor?
Sí.
Yes.
Right, thank you. Your next court date will be a preliminary hearing on April 28th at 1:30.
Bien, la próxima audiencia en su caso será una audiencia preliminar el día 28 de abril a la 1:30 por la tarde.
That date may or may not go forward,
Ahora, esa audiencia podrá o no llevarse a cabo.
so please keep in contact with your attorney.
Así es que, por favor, siga en contacto y comunicación con el abogado que se le designe,
If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest.
porque si no se presenta cuando debe hacerlo, se ordena su detención.
Do you understand all that, Mr. Duarte Sandoval?
¿Entiende todo lo que le he dicho, señor Duarte Sandoval?
Sí.
Yes.
Right, thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
Gracias, señor. Puede retirarse por hoy. And Your Honor, may the interpreter be excused?
Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Thank you.
Morning, ma'am. Can I get your full name, please?
Colombian Barrio.
Thank you, Ms. Barrios. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on post-indictment felony charges out of Pima County Superior Court for possession of narcotic drugs and possession of drug paraphernalia, 2 counts. You also have a failure to appear out of Pima County Justice Court for possession of drug paraphernalia and a failure to appear out of Tucson City Court for possession of drug paraphernalia. We'll deal with the felonies first and then your misdemeanors. And you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney in certain instances. If you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. For the felony case, I'm going to appoint the Pima County Legal Defender's Office to represent you. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, ma'am. I've reviewed the pretrial services report and the state's written recommendation. Appears to be released to pretrial services. So it is post-indictment, Mr. Poston.
Your Honor, the state withdraws its recommendation and submits to the court for its discretion.
All right, thank you. Mr. Knauer, and also if you could address the housing situation. There is an address listed in the pretrial services report on Oracle Road, if that's still a correct address.
Your Honor, may I have just a moment to confirm that with my client? All right, Your Honor, thank you. I've confirmed that with my client. Her address is valid for her. Now, before I go into my request, I was going to ask for pretrial services release. Was Your Honor not inclined to, or saying that that's not an option for her?
No, I was just confirming because it was a summons case. I was wondering about the address.
Yeah, okay, yes, Your Honor. So ultimately, our request will be for pretrial services. We ask Your Honor's consideration of the nonviolent nature of the allegations. Ms. Barrio does not have a felony history. In addition, I do believe there is a possibility that her non-appearance was because of her temporary homeless status, to where she did not receive notice of the court date. So we asked her to get the benefit of the doubt, have another chance at custody.
All right, thank you. So Ms. Barrio, I am going to release you to pretrial services on your felony matter. Conditions include no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring treatment as directed by pretrial. Your next court date will actually be in Superior Court on the 3rd floor on April 23rd. That's going to be next Wednesday, April 23rd, for your criminal arraignment at 1:30 p.m. If you fail to show for court again, a warrant can issue for your arrest, as you can see. Do you understand all that, ma'am? Oh, we lost the jail. Hmm?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I pressed the wrong button. Of the process. So I'm sorry, could you repeat your last question?
Yeah, so release to pretrial services on your felony matter, Ms. Barrio. You have a criminal arraignment next Wednesday, that's a week from now, at the Superior Courthouse, April 23rd at 1:30 p.m. If you fail to appear for court again for your arraignment, another warrant can issue. Do you understand all that, Ms. Barrio?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, for your Pima County Justice Court case, I'm going to release you on your own promise to appear for your next court date. Conditions include no drugs, no alcohol. Next court date for Pima County Justice Court will be April 28th at 8:30 a.m. When you get released from custody today, ma'am, you'll get 3 sheets. You'll get your Tucson City Court one, your Justice Court one, and your Superior Court one. So you'll have 3 separate court dates you have to keep in track of. All right, for your Tucson City Court case matter, ma'am, I'm also going to release you on that one on your own promise to appear. Again, conditions include no drugs, no alcohol. Next court date for that will be May 20th at 9:30 a.m. All right, you understand all that, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. You're excused for today, Ms. Barrio. Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Jose Castro Borola.
Sorry, one more time. Jose,
Jose Castro Borola. Sorry about that.
do you have a middle name?
Yeah, it's Jose Castro Dorame. Sorry about that.
Castro Dorame. Okay. Are you a junior?
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Castro Dorame, this is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on some felony charges for possession of narcotic drugs for sale, possession of a weapon during a felony drug offense, and possession of drug paraphernalia. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you today. All right, I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I've reviewed the pretrial services report, the interim complaint. The state's written recommendation is $2,500 in bond. Mr. Poston, do you want to be heard further?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Knauer?
Thank you, Your Honor. We're asking for release of pretrial services in light of my client's lack of felony history, the low NCA and FTA scores, and we believe that the level 1 conditions assigned by pretrial services would be sufficient to ensure his future appearance and make sure that he remains law-abiding.
All right, thank you. Mr. Castro Dorame, I'm going to release you to pretrial services today, so you're going to get out of custody today. Conditions of your release include no drugs, absolutely no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms while your case is going on, monitoring and treatment as directed by pretrial. Your next court date will be May 6th at 1:30 p.m. for a preliminary hearing date. That date may or may not go forward, sir. So if you just keep in contact with your attorney, if you fail to appear for court in May or a future court date, warrants can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, Mr. Castro Dorame?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. You're excused for today. Good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Miguel González Garciola.
Thank you, Mr. Gaxilo. Sorry, one more time.
Miguel González Garciola.
Is it Gaxiola Escobedo?
No, they got it wrong. It's just González Garciola.
Okay. All right, thank you, Mr. Gaxiola. This is a time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on some new felony charges for discharge of firearm at a structure and discharge of firearm in city limits. For felonies, you also have a failure to appear at a Tucson City Court for racing on a highway, which is a misdemeanor. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. On your felony matter, I will appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. On your Tucson City Court matter, I'll appoint the Tucson City Public Defender's Office. We'll be setting some release conditions for you, Mr. Gaxiola. I've reviewed the interim complaint, the state's written recommendation, and the pretrial services report. The state is recommending $350,000 in bond. Mr. Poston, do you want to be heard?
Your Honor, this is an absolutely wanton drive-by shooting. Apparently because there was somebody that apparently may have been brake checked. There were multiple rounds fired, and the defendant, post Miranda, admitted to pulling his firearm, discharging during the road rage incident. It's absolutely imperative that people like this are kept off the roads. Not only did they discharge a weapon at somebody, they discharged it to somebody they didn't even know because they felt off put for something that happened in traffic. This is incredibly dangerous. Society deserves better than to have to be subjected to the risk that this person's presence constitutes. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Knauer?
Thank you, Your Honor. The defense is asking that my client be released to the supervision of pretrial services on the enhanced supervision. With respect to what's contained in the interim complaint, I would just reemphasize that these are allegations. The interim complaint is just one document among probably potentially hundreds of documents that are set to be used in litigation in this case. This does appear to be a situation where there may have been some road rage going on. The exact details of that are not fully known at this time. We expect that there to be a full investigation into what actually happened here. And there certainly can be circumstances where if someone's involved in an incident or somebody's brake checking them, that can create circumstances where somebody can be justified in threatening or using deadly force. So for now, my client is presumed to be innocent. We ask that his presumption of innocence be respected. Indeed, under the rules of criminal procedure, somebody in this instance can and is presumed to be released ROR. In this case, we were asking for something greater than that, and that also would be appropriate given the lack of felony history here. Under all the circumstances, Your Honor, pretrial services enhanced would be sufficient.
Thank you, both counsel. I do think due to the harm to the community, a bond is appropriate in this matter. And impose a bond of $25,000, cash or secured, release to pretrial if posted, sir. Conditions will include no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring treatment as directed, no contact with the alleged victims. Don't try to go find them or anything like that if you are released from custody. Your next court date for your felony matter will be April 28th at 1:30 p.m., sir. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Please keep in contact with your attorney as that date may or may not go forward or may get moved. Do you understand all that, sir?
He said yes, Your Honor. I'm sorry, I just muted.
That's all right. Thank you. And for your Tucson City Court matter, Mr. Gaxiola, looks like there's a number of failures to appear, and these charges stem from 2023. They're quite old. I'm going to impose a bond of $500 in your Tucson City Court case, cash or secured. If you do post that, conditions include do not drive without a valid driver's license, no drugs, no alcohol. And my apologies, there are other additional charges on the Tucson City Court one. It includes a driving under the influence, criminal speeding, as well as the racing on the highway. All right, for that one, sir, your next court date will be April 25. That's next week at 1:45 p.m. If you're still in custody, you'll be seen by video. Tucson City Public Defender will be there. All right, sir, you're excused for today, Mr. Gaxiola.
Thank you.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Peter Graves.
Middle name Allen?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Graves, this is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on new felony charges for possession of narcotic drugs, possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of a weapon during a felony drug offense. It looks like you also have a failure to appear out of Marana City Court for drug paraphernalia. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. For your felony case, I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, Mr. Graves. I've reviewed the pretrial service report. The interim complaint, the state's written recommendation is $3,500 in bond. Mr. Poston, you want to be heard further?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Mr. Knauer?
Thank you, Your Honor. We are asking for release to pretrial services in this case. Mr. Graves does not have an apparent criminal history, and we believe that the level, we double checked here, level 2 conditions, nonviolent, that were set out by pretrial will be sufficient.
Thank you. I do think that release to pretrial service is appropriate in the felony matter. I'm going to order that. So, sir, you'll be released from custody today on your felony case. Conditions include no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring treatment as directed by pretrial, so you have to keep in contact with them. Your next court date will be a preliminary hearing on May 6th at 1:30 p.m. That date may or may not go forward, so please keep in contact with your attorney. If you fail to appear for court, warrant can issue for your arrest. All right, for your Marana City Court case, sir. Oh, I'm sorry, you also have a Tucson City Court case. All right, but let me talk about your Marana City Court case first. That one as well, I will release you on your own promise to appear for your next court date. Conditions will include no drugs, no alcohol. Next court date for Marana will be May 14th at 10 a.m. Looks like the charge was back from 2023, sir, so you might make sure you get that taken care of. May 14th at 10 a.m. for Marana City Court. One moment. All right, for your Tucson City Court case, sir. Looks like it's a post adjudication that you owe some restitution on. All right, so you owe money in that case. You owe some restitution. Right, sir. So for your Tucson City Court case, I know it's post adjudication and it's restitution, but you have to show up for court for that one as well. All right, for that one, I'm going to release you on your own promise to appear. Next court day will be May 13th at 1:30 p.m. at Tucson City Court. So when you get released from custody today, you're gonna have 3 separate pieces of paper with 3 separate court dates, 3 separate courthouses. You understand all that, sir?
Yes.
All right, thank you. You're excused for today. Morning, can I get your full name, please? Ms. Gribble, this is the time set for your initial appearance. I am seeing you today on a warrant out of Maricopa County Superior Court for unlawful use of means of transportation, which is a felony. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. I'm also seeing you today on a Tucson City Court matter, new charges for theft, shoplifting. There's a new charge, and then there's a failure to appear on a separate charge. Those are misdemeanors. All right, I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir, or ma'am, excuse me. Ms. Gribble, did you know that you had a felony warrant out of Maricopa County?
I did not.
You live in Phoenix?
No.
You live down here in Tucson?
Yes, ma'am.
Give me one moment. I'm having some computer troubles. Are you still at the 702 South 6th Avenue address?
That's the mailing address.
Where's your
I'm
mailing
homeless.
address? Whose house is the mailing address?
It's Primavera.
Okay. You still check your mail there, though? So ma'am, on your Maricopa County warrant case, the warrant will be outstanding, but I'm going to release you today for the felony case. When you get released today, you'll get a piece of paper with Maricopa County Superior Court's phone number on there. So you have to call them to quash that warrant. Otherwise,
Okay.
it doesn't be out there. So you need to call them to get that taken care of. So there's no new court date for the Maricopa case. You just know that warrant is out there and you need to call them to get a future court date. Call their public defender's office in Maricopa too, to get more information on that. All right, on your Tucson City Court matter, ma'am. That one as well. I'm going to release you on your own promise to appear for your next court date. Conditions include do not return to the incident location, no contact with the business victim.
Okay.
Your next court date for Tucson City will be May 20th at 9 a.m. All right. If you fail to appear for court, ma'am, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Trial can go without you. If you're convicted at a trial in your absence and not able to be sentenced within 90 days due to warrant status, you may lose your right to a direct appeal. Do you understand the consequences of failing to show to court, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. It's also the time set for your arraignment. I'm going to enter not guilty pleas on your behalf for the new city court charges. And ma'am, I don't think I told you, but when you're released this morning outside the jail, there is a Pima County Transition Center. They help with temporary housing. So you might want to stop by there and see if you can get a phone and see if they can help you with some temporary housing. Okay?
Is it a building or is it a person? Vehicle?
Believe it.
Okay.
Sit right. You get released?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. You're excused. Morning, can I get your full name, please?
Michael Bradley Hurtado.
Thank you, Mr. Hurtado. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on some new felony charges for domestic violence, aggravated assault, and domestic violence kidnapping, which are felonies. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, Mr. Hurtado. I've reviewed the pretrial services report, the interim complaint. The state's written recommendation is $50,000. I believe we have ma'am in the courtroom. Are you for this case? What is your name? Sorry? Daisy Sotelo? Okay. Are you the listed victim? And what did you want me to know? You're comfortable what? Setting boundaries. Is there any other adults in the home other than you and Mr. Hurtado? So does Mr. Hurtado live with you? No. Okay. You have separate residence. All right. And it neglected to say there's also a Form 4 risk assessment in here as well. Let me just review that. All right. Thank you, Ms. Sotelo. All right, counsel, I don't know if you were able to hear because she was in the back of the courtroom. Ms. Sotelo is indicating that she has a separate residence locally in Tucson and separate residence in Phoenix. Phoenix, she says her parents' residence, and then in Tucson with a roommate, and Mr. Hurtado does not live with her. She is indicating she would like release and she would like further contact. All right. Mr. Poston?
Your Honor, as the court is aware, it's ultimately the court's decision whether or not certain orders are entered. It's not a matter of the victim or alleged victim making the decision on these things. State still believes that this person is a dire risk and is a threat to the safety of of the victim, notwithstanding her forgiving nature. State stands by its recommendation, 50,000 and no contest.
All right, thank you. Mr. Knauer?
Thank you, Your Honor. The defense is asking for release to pretrial services in light of a number of factors. Besides the input that the victim has provided to pretrial services, and here again today, we would point out the low NCA and FTA scores. I believe both were 1 out of 6. Mr. Hurtado does have full-time employment. There is no criminal history here, including lack of DV history, and it does appear that they would have separate residences. So the court has a variety of non-monetary conditions that could be imposed here, in addition to pretrial services release that would prevent there from being any future situations or any back and forth. So we're asking that it be released today.
All right, thank you. I'm concerned about the information in the Form 4 risk assessment and the allegations in the interim complaint. So I will impose a bond today of $10,000, cash or secured, released to pretrial if posted, Mr. Hurtado. Conditions of release: if you do post that bond, sir, include no drugs, no alcohol, do not commit any further acts of domestic violence, no firearms, monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial. At this time, I'm going to order no contact since this just happened. I'm going to order no contact. That can be modified in the future, but at this time, no contact with Ms. Sotelo. Do not go to her house or her work or anything like that. So your next court date is going to be April 28th at 1:30 p.m. That date may or may not go forward, so please keep in contact with your attorney. If you fail to appear for court, whether it's that date or a future date, warrants can issue for your arrest. You understand that, Mr. Hurtado?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. You're excused for today, sir. Good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
George Edward Marshall, the board.
Thank you, Mr. Marshall. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing today on new felony charges for possession of narcotic drugs and possession of drug paraphernalia, which are felonies. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you, sir. I'll be setting some release conditions for you today. It looks like you do have an adult probation hold at this time. So regardless of what I do today, because of the hold, you won't be released today at least. All right. I got to be set some release conditions. I reviewed the pretrial services report, the inner complaint. The state's recommendation is $2,500. And Mr. Poston, can you also confirm steps eligibility?
Yes.
Sorry, Mr. Poston, was that yes, that he is eligible?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. If I did take the steps eligibility on the recommendation.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Knauer?
Your Honor, in light of the hold, we are going to ask for a small bond today. We'd ask for a bond of $100. And that would permit him to get through the steps process with minimal monetary burden.
All right, thank you. Mr. Marshall, I don't know if you're familiar, but the state offers a pre-indictment drug treatment program called STEPS. Would you be interested in participating in it?
Yes.
So there's a screening that they do. So I'm going to set a STEPS hearing for you next Wednesday, April 23rd at 9 a.m. I'm hold you on a bond of $100, cash or secured, released to pretrial if posted. If you're still in custody because of the APO hold or because of this bond, then they'll transport you for that STEPS hearing. You'll find out at that date if you actually qualify for the pre-indictment drug program. All right. Conditions: if you post the bond and your APO hold lifts, no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring treatment as directed by pretrial. You have to contact pretrial as well as your probation officer. So your conditions of release include contacting your PO when you get released from custody. All right, your next court date after the STEPS hearing will be April 28th at 1:30 p.m. for a preliminary hearing. Please keep in contact with your attorney. If you fail to appear for court, as you probably know, warrants can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, Mr. Marshall?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. You're excused for today. Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Owens Coleman Parker.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. And also, are you a junior?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on a fugitive warrant out of Florida. The charges are for trafficking in methamphetamine, trafficking in fentanyl, aggravated fleeing or attempting to elude a law enforcement officer, possession of cocaine, resisting an officer without violence. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In this case, I'll appoint the Pima County Legal Defender's Office to represent you. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I've reviewed the pretrial services report, the interim complaint, the state's written recommendation. It looks like there's no recommendation at this on the written one. And sir, it looks like you have a federal court detainer as well. Mr. Poston, did you have a recommendation?
State submits, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Mr. Knauer?
The defense asks for a nominal bond in light of the petition.
Thank you. The pretrial services report indicated that Mr. Parker had previously posted a bond in Florida in excess of $12,000, then he failed to appear for court. This was back in 2023. So impose a bond higher than that of $20,000 in this matter, cash or secured. Release to pretrial if posted, no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring treatment as directed. So your next court date is going to be next Monday, April 21st at 2:30 p.m. at Pima County Superior Court. You'll see a different judge there. Your attorney will be there. They'll figure out what's going to happen with your fugitive warrant. Understand all that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. You're excused for today, Mr. Parker.
That's just Monday. Oh, okay. Tuesday. Tuesday.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Vernon Robert Tyler Platt.
Thank you, Mr. Platt. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on a new felony charge of possession of a weapon by a possessor. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own county legal advocate's office to represent you today. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I've reviewed the interim complaint, the pretrial services report. The state's written recommendation is a $5,000 bond. Mr. Poston, do you want to be heard further?
No, Judge.
All right, thank you. Mr. Knauer?
Yes, Your Honor. So the defense has some concerns about the allegations in this case as stated in the interim complaint. So does Your Honor have that in front of you?
Yes, I have the interim.
So my understanding from the probable cause statement is that there was allegedly an altercation between Mr. Platt and one individual, Mr. Scott. And so there are a couple of individuals named here, Mr. Scott, who apparently produced a firearm and then told another individual, Mr. Cruz, to take Mr. Platt's vehicle. That seems kind of problematic in and of itself. But if you look further and read through the rest of the probable cause statement, we have potentially two people who could have possessed firearms other than Mr. Platt, who had access to Mr. Platt's vehicle. We understand that according to this statement, there's a quote independent witness. I don't know who that witness might be or whether they're associated with Mr. Scott or Mr. Cruz or both. So again, Your Honor, this is an early stage of the proceedings. These were just allegations, but we have some concerns here about whether Mr. Platt indeed did possess a firearm. And so that I think is something the court should consider in terms of whether there's probable cause here. Regardless, in addition to that, Mr. Platt does have housing and transportation. He does have a full-time job. We'd argue that under all the circumstances, pretrial services release would be most appropriate.
All right, thank you. I hear Mr. Knauer's arguments. I do think that there's sufficient probable cause at this point with circumstantial evidence to move forward with the charges today. I'm going to grant release to pretrial services. Oh, okay. Well, is All right. Sorry, I was talking with the clerks here. All right, sir, you're going to be released to pretrial services today. Conditions include no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring treatment as directed by pretrial. Your next court date will be May 6th at 1:30 p.m. for a preliminary hearing. That date may or may not go forward, sir, so please keep in contact with your attorney. If you fail to appear for court, whether it's that May 6th or a future date, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, Mr. Platt?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir. You're excused for today. Morning, ma'am. Can I get your full name, please?
Anna Elizabeth Turkington.
Thank you, Ms. Turkington. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing today on a felony charge
That's over here.
for possession of narcotic drugs, and then you also have a misdemeanor failure to appear for shoplifting out of Pima County Justice Court. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. For your felony matter, I'll appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. I'll be setting some release conditions for you today, ma'am. I reviewed the pretrial services report, the interim complaint, the state's written recommendations released to pretrial and steps eligible. Mr. Poston, can you confirm? Mr. Poston, you're muted.
Apologies. Yes, Your Honor, I saw no problem for admissions to steps.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Knauer?
We agree, Your Honor.
And wait time for the preliminary hearing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. So, Ms. Turkington, the state has a pre-indictment drug treatment program called STEPS. Would you be interested in participating?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. All right. So I'm going to set you a STEPS hearing next Wednesday, April 23rd at 9 a.m. at the Superior Courthouse. They do a screening to see if you qualify, and you'll find out next Wednesday if you qualify. If you don't show up, they're not going to consider you. So make sure you show up next Wednesday at Superior Court.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to release you to pretrial services today. You'll be released from jail today. Conditions of that include you have to contact pretrial services, monitoring treatment as they direct you, no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms. Do not go to the incident location wherever you got arrested from. Your next court date after the STEPS hearing is going to be a preliminary hearing on June 2nd at 1:30 p.m. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. And on your Pima County Justice Court case, that's the shoplifting. That one I will release you on your own promise to appear. Conditions include no contact with that business victim of the shoplifting. Don't go back there. Your next date for Justice Court will be April 28th at 8:30 a.m. So you have two separate court dates you got to keep track of. The one next week in Superior Court and the one the week after that in Justice Court, April 28th. That's at 8:30. As you can see, if you fail to appear for court, warrants can issue for your arrest. You understand that, Ms. Turkington?
Yes.
All right, you're excused for today. Thank you. All right, at the jail, I think that was everyone.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Knauer. Thank you, Mr. Poston. Have a good day, everyone.
Good day, Your Honor.
Thank you.